Week 16 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I looked at off the wire this week. The first pitcher, Luis Ortiz of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So Luis Ortiz, it's been great since he's been reinserted back into the rotation with injuries over there for Pittsburgh with Jared Jones out, even though now we've seen Gonzalez come back to the rotation for this Pittsburgh Pirate team. He's going to keep a spot after he's gone out there the last few outings and been one of the best pitchers in fantasy baseball in the season for Ortiz. 73 and 2/3, 5-2 record, a save, 59 Ks, a 2.57 ERA, a 1.11 WHIP, and 3 quality starts. And over the last month of the season, 30 and 2/3, 2-0 record, 26 Ks, a 2.64 ERA, a 1.04 WHIP, and 3 quality starts. So Ortiz, he's definitely inserted in the Pirates rotation, and he's gave him a boost now. Only one game out of a wild card spot is this Pittsburgh Pirate team. And their rotation, one of the better rotations, I believe, in the Major League Baseball, to start off with Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, Ortiz pitching well, Jared Jones when he was there, Marco Gonzalez, Martin Perez back in the rotation as well, coming back of injury. But the way Ortiz is pitched, I think they got to keep him in there. July 7th versus the Mets, 6 innings, no decision, 4 hits, no runs, 5 Ks, a quality start. July 13th at the White Sox, 5 2/3, no decision, 4 hits, a run, a walk, 5 Ks. And July 20th versus Philly, 7 innings, got the win. 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, a quality start. So Ortiz, he's gone out there and he's mowing teams down, and he's going deep into the games. I know last season they called him up, he was in the rotation, he struggled. Then this year, started the season in the bullpen, but got the opportunity with the injuries, like I mentioned, in this rotation. And right now, well, he's pitching great baseball. He's available in tons of leagues at 74%. The next pitcher, Michael Wacha of the Kansas City Royals. So I've mentioned Wacha a lot is over the last few weeks, years of pickup. And right now, only out there in 51% of leagues on the season. 96 1/3, 7-6 record, 85 Ks, 3.55 ERA, a 1.20 WHIP, and 8 quality starts for Wacha in the time. But the last month of the season, after coming off the injured list, about then 28 1/3, 3-1 record, 29 Ks, a 1.91 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, and 2 quality starts. And Michael Wacha, he's going out there and he's going deeper into games more than ever before for the most part throughout the last few seasons where he's bounced around the league. And this Royal team's been a nice surprise in the American League. July 3rd versus Tampa Bay, 6 innings, got the win, 2 hits, a run, 3 walks, a quality start. July 10th at one of his former teams, the Cardinals, 5 innings, got the win, 7 hits, 3 runs, a walk, 3 Ks. And July 19th versus the lonely White Sox, 7 innings, got the win, 4 hits, no runs, a walk, 7 Ks, a quality start. So Wacha, it's good to see him going deeper into games. He's in a weak division in the Central with mediocre to bad hitting teams in the Tigers, Cleveland Guardians. Obviously, the White Sox, the worst team in the league, and they're going to trade a lot of guys coming up in the next 9 days before the MLB trade deadline. And right now, Michael Wacha, he's hitting the strike zone. He's getting those easy outs as well, ground balls, pop-ups, and that's where the veteran pitcher, he reinvented himself over the last couple seasons, and he's pitching great. He's definitely a pickup this week. The next pitcher, Tobias Myers of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Tobias Myers, it's been a great season for him out of nowhere. A guy coming into the year that wouldn't have been in this Brewer rotation, but they've had injuries up and down all season long, with the most starters used in the major leagues this season. On the year for Myers, 72 innings, 6-3 record, 62 Ks, a 3.13 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, and 5 quality starts. And over the last month of the season, he's been even better. 25 innings, 2-1 record, 20 Ks, a 2.88 ERA, a 1.12 WHIP, and 2 quality starts. So I spoke about the AL Central, now the National League Central. A lot of mid to poor hitting teams as well. The Cubs, their hitting's been up and down all season long, even though I know they got some nice hitters in that lineup. St. Louis Cardinals, they've been starting to get things going over the last few weeks hitting-wise. Pirates, their hitting has been the problem for them. Hitting with the great pitching they have for the most part, Pittsburgh, their team that really could be making noise in the National League. Myers, he's gone out there and he's pitched great baseball over the last month and pretty much the whole season, coming out of nowhere. He wasn't even part of this rotation. He was the 7th or 8th option going into the year. But Joe Ross, he's been injured for a while now. Wade Miley, he's out for the season going back. Robert Gasser as well. So a lot of injuries in this rotation. And right now, Myers, he's made the most of his opportunity. June 29th versus the Cubs, 6 innings, no decision, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, a quality start. July 4th at the Rockies, 6 innings, got the loss, 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 5 Ks. And July 10th versus the Pirates, 8 innings, got the win, 4 hits, a walk, 6 Ks, a quality start. So very surprising to me. He's out there in 53% of fantasy league still hears Tobias Myers, and he just goes out there and he's getting the job done. I'm not saying it's going to stick for the remainder of the season the way he's going out there and pitching great baseball, but right now, well, it's tough to find consistent pitching, and he has been consistent pretty much the majority of the time he's been in the rotation. He's an ad this week. Next ad's his teammate Colin Rea of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Rea, it's been a good year for him. Another guy that was on the bubble of being that 5th or 6th starter in this rotation, where he was fighting for that last spot going into the season. On the year, 105 innings, 9-3 record, 76 Ks, a 3.77 ERA, a 1.21 WHIP, and 6 quality starts. So Rea, he's gone out there. He's pitched good baseball for the most part for this Milwaukee Brewer team. I know he's had some hiccups here and there, but he's got a good record. Like I said, in the division, offenses haven't been all that great in the National League Central. And right now, I would give him an ad out there in 63% of leagues. July 3rd at the Rockies, 7 innings, got the win. 6 hits in that one, 4 Ks, a quality start. July 9th versus the Pirates, 5 innings, got the loss. Got roughed up in that one, 6 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. And July 14th versus the Nats, 5 2/3, got the win. 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 7 Ks. So the National League as a whole as well, for the most part, it's a mediocre league this season, the National League. Besides Philly, the Dodgers, and the Braves for the most part, I don't really think there's a huge powerhouse team. So Ray's been going out there. He's pitching good baseball. I know he got roughed up recently, but still, he's a pitcher I think can help fantasy owners. And he's a crafty pitcher as well, with a lot of ground balls and pop-ups to get those easier outs. Right now, I know a lot of pitchers try to go out there and go for the big K rate and the whiff rate as well. But sometimes it's just going back to the old school and getting those easy outs. And right now, that's what Colin Rea is doing for fantasy owners. The next pitcher is Spencer Schwellenbach of the Atlanta Braves. I know Schwellenbach, he pitches here today, but even if he gets roughed up by the St. Louis Cardinals, he's been on a nice run of late. And this Brave team really don't have many options. I know A.J. Smith-Shawyer, he's obviously an option. He's off the injured list, but I don't think he's going to be back in the rotation. And Bryce Elder, we saw him come up as the 27th man in yesterday's ball game for this Brave team. But I think they like what Schwellenbach's doing. And like I said, even if he gets roughed up a little bit today versus the Cardinals, he's still a pitcher I would recommend to add because he's turned things around over the last month of the year on the season. 44 2/3, 3-4 record, 41 Ks, a 4.43 ERA, a 1.16 WHIP, and 4 quality starts. But the last month of the year, 23 innings, 2-2 record, 22 Ks, a 3.91 ERA, a 1.13 WHIP, and 2 quality starts. Of this Brave team, they're trying to figure things out after losing their 2 best players, Ronald Acuna and Spencer Strider. Obviously, hitting the baseball and pitching the baseball, and Spencer Schwellenbach's been filling in now after they went through a decent amount of starting. Be that fill-in for Strider. And also, there is a possibility Atlanta goes out there in the next 9 days and makes a trade at the Major League trade deadline. Schwellenbach today's got a matchup versus the Cardinals where their offense is definitely heated up, but he's gone out there and he's turned things around. June 30th versus the Pirates, 5 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. July 6th versus Philly, 6 innings, got the win, 7 hits, a run, 6 Ks, a quality start. And July 12th at San Diego, 7 innings, got the win, 3 hits, a run, a walk, 3 Ks, a quality start. Just Schwellenbach, he's pitching a little bit more to contact. He's not trying to get that crazy whiff rate. And sometimes that's what you got to do. You just got to go out there, try to get weak contact on some of these hitters. And that's what some of these pitchers are going back to, and you're starting to see some success. And Schwellenbach we'll see today versus the Cardinals, where he versed them last time, June 24th, and it wasn't a great outing. 5 innings, got the loss in that one, 8 hits, 4 runs, 6 Ks. But we'll see today with Atlanta being the home team this time around. And it's a big game for wild card standings right now. I think Schwellenbach, even if he gets hit, like I said, these pitchers aren't going to be perfect, but they still can help your fantasy team. And he's available in 67% of leagues. The next pitcher, another starter pitching today, Drew Thorpe of the Chicago White Sox. Drew Thorpe, it's been a nice call-up for Thorpe, and he was one of the major pieces in the Juan Soto deal. And then the Padres, they decided to flip him and get Dylan Cease in before the season started. So right now, it's small sample size for Thorpe, no doubt about it. But he's pitched well, 32 2/3, 3-1 record, 19 Ks, a 3.58 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, and 4 quality starts. But Thorpe, he's really gone out there and he's attacking the zone, and he's looked good for this Chicago White Sox team. So right now, while he's out there still in 73% of fantasy league, and even if he gets hit in today's ball game versus the Kansas City Royals, I still believe Drew Thorpe's got major upside and is a pitcher that can help fantasy owners even on a bad team. Because like I said, this AL Central, not many good hitting teams. Tigers, Minnesota Twins, Kansas City Royals, like he's versing today here, even though they've had some times where they're hitting the baseball great. But anyway, I think Thorpe could go out there once again and help owners, even if he gets hit today. June 28th versus the Rockies, 6 innings, got the win. 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 4 Ks, a quality start. July 5th in Miami, in the third, got the win in that one. 3 hits, a run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, a quality start. And July 10th versus the Twins, 6 innings, no decision. 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk. Okay, so right now, Drew Thorpe, he's going out there and he's pitching well. I know it's been pretty weak hitting teams and bottom half of the league hitting teams, but right now, for a rookie to go out there and 4 quality starts in a row, that's something fantasy owners definitely would take out of Drew Thorpe, and a young pitcher who has good upside. So right now, while he's pitching good baseball, he's definitely a solid ad this week. The next ad, Jeffrey Springs of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Jeffrey Springs, he should be up sooner than later from rehab. And this Ray team definitely could use some guys in the rotation as reinforcements. As we know, coming into the season, tons of injuries in that rotation. So right now, Jeffrey Springs, like I said, he's got a couple more rehab assignments. So he's most likely back in the major league. So right now, available still 66% is Jeffrey Springs. And he's a pitcher that we've seen success throughout his major league career. Right now, he's going to come up as Jeffrey Springs, and he's in AAA now, the final stages of his rehab. So another start or two, and then he'll be back in the major leagues in this rotation for the Tampa Bay Rays. Like I said, this Ray team, they could use reinforcements in that rotation. We saw them trade Savale a few weeks ago, and now they might have an abundance of starting pitcher by the time that the season's over, because Rasmussen as well is ramping up some rehab assignments. So right now, Jeffrey Springs can help fantasy owners. He was a great starter 2 seasons ago, and last year before he got hurt, I know small sample size, 16 innings, 2-0 record, 24 Ks, and 0.56 ERA, 0.50 WHIP, and 2 quality starts. So right now, Jeffrey Springs definitely someone for fantasy owners to go out there and get. And like I said, he's got good upside. I know it's a tough division, obviously, but Tampa just finds a way to keep putting these pitchers out there, and they produce for the Rays and fantasy owners. So I would give him an ad this week. The next ad's another guy on rehab assignments, and coming back next week most likely is Robbie Ray of the San Francisco Giants. So Ray, a Cy Young winner a couple seasons ago. Last season, went out in his first outing with the Mariners 3 1/3. Only last season got the lowest 3 Ks. So right now, Robbie Ray, he's one of the better strikeout pitchers in all the major leagues. And I'm not saying Springs and Ray are going to come off right away a major Tommy John surgery and get back to form, because sometimes it takes a season or two for pitchers to get back. But this San Francisco Giant team all season long, they're another team, just like I mentioned early in the video, the Brewers, who have had most starters start for them. San Francisco's right up there as well. So right now, to get some guys back in this rotation, Robbie Ray, Alex Cobb possibly down the line. Blake Snell's returned a couple weeks ago. And Robbie Ray, we know he's got major upside. But like I say, don't expect Ray to come back and be Cy Young form, but he's a pitcher that pitches in a good pitcher's ballpark over there in San Francisco. He's a lefty, which is always a plus, especially nowadays in the major leagues. Not many dominant lefties, and I think he could go out there and help fantasy owners in a decent way. So right now, with San Francisco desperately needing some help in the rotation and taking the chance in the offseason, making the trade for Ray coming off of Tommy John, I think he's a decent ad, and he's available in 57% of fantasy leagues. The next pitcher is David Peterson of the New York Mets. It's very surprising that David Peterson has pitched well for this New York Mets team. I know Kodai Senga is coming back to this rotation, and possibly the New York Mets, they could buy and sell at the deadline, where right now they're right there is one of the wild card spots, even though it's definitely a tight race for that last spot between the Mets, between the San Diego Padres, Pittsburgh Pirates. But David Peterson, he's definitely pitched well on the year, 43 2/3, 4-0 record, 32 Ks, a 3.09 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, and 4 quality starts. So like I said, even with Senga coming back, either Christian Scott's going to lose his spot in the rotation, the Mets are going to make a trade, or go to a 6-man rotation. So I think Peterson for now safe. In the last month of the year, he's been one of the better pitchers, 21 innings, 1-0 record, 20 Ks, a 2.14 ERA, a 1.43 WHIP, and 2 quality starts. So right now available in 88% of fantasy leagues. I think many fantasy owners, though, like me, they're weary of David Peterson, but you got to give him some credit. He's gone out there and he's pitched good baseball over the last month, and even since he's been called back up after coming off injury in the offseason. July 1st at Washington, 6 and a third, no decision, 7 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 2 Ks, a quality start. July 6th at Pittsburgh, 4 and a third, no decision, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. And July 11th versus Washington, 6 innings, got the win, 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, a quality starts. His next outing's another good one at the Marlins, where we know they're one of the worst hitting teams in all the major leagues in tomorrow's ball game. Peterson, he's gone out there and he's pitched well, like I mentioned, out there in 88% of fantasy leagues. And his rotation spot isn't in jeopardy. But like I said, the problem with Peterson's been injuries, consistency, and going deep into games. But so far this season, in a small sample size, he's overcome those things and pitched well. He's an ad this week, and the final pitch I looked at off the wires, Daniel Hudson of the Los Angeles Dodgers. If you're looking for some closer help, Daniel Hudson, it looks like he'll be the closer now for this Los Angeles Dodger team. So this Dodger team, a lot of injuries in the rotation, but they're getting reinforcements. Clayton Kershaw coming back next week. Tyler Glasnow coming back as well. And Daniel Hudson, he's been a mainstay and a solid pitcher in this bullpen. 6-1 record, 5 saves, 39 and 2/3, 43 Ks, a 1.59 ERA, 0.81 WHIP. And over the last month of the season, 10 innings, 3-0 record, 2 saves, 11 Ks, 0.90 ERA, and 1 WHIP. So right now, if Hudson's going to be the closer for this Los Angeles Dodger team, obviously we know this Dodger team, one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. And Daniel Hudson, he's got good stuff. He's definitely invented himself over the last few seasons as well, where he had a lot of injuries, but he stayed healthy now, and he's pitched well. So if he's the closer for this Dodger team, he could pay big dividends for fantasy owners, and he's a nice ad. So that's a few pitchers I looked at off the wire for Week 16 of the fantasy baseball season.